Where's my share screen? Okay, can you see my screen? Can you confirm if you can see my screen?
Sir, your screen is visible.
Okay, yeah, thank you. So this is the right side is what we need. The left side's window is for us to revise when we need. Now, this is a quote from any guesses? Anyone knows who it is from? Dr. Seuss. Dr. Seuss is one of the children's writer, and in fact, even though he is a children's writer, there's quite a lot of his works which are enjoyed irrespective of the age. All right. So uh, this one goes with your head full of brains and your shoes full of feet. You're too smart to go down any not so good street. So Dr. Seuss, one of the beauties about his thing is there's always a rhyme to whatever he says. And you learn, even though it's kids' book, there is quite a lot of wisdom in it. For example, there is another quote from his book which says, "There is no one youer than you, so be you." That is, there's no one as you are as unique as you ought to be, and there's no one else just as you are. Therefore, be yourself because you are a wonderful person to be as you are. Now, with that quote, and one thing I should tell you is no matter what you have to do, it's always beautiful. What you have to do always becomes enjoyable and beautiful when you try to do it in your way. At the same time, we shouldn't forget things like professionalism and everything. But at the same time, when you do it your way, often it becomes more enjoyable for you. When it becomes more enjoyable for you, your work also becomes wonderful, wonderful, and your output also becomes enjoyable for those who want. Now, those who are watching you, those who are looking at your output. Okay. Now, this is what we are going to do. We are going to summarize things we did so far. Now, we should start with, for that, we should start with the class notes. Before we started, this was the first class, if you remember. What is wealth management? And we talked about different things, simple interest. And we brought the formula for simple interest and compound interest. And rest of it were what we, rest of the observations we made that day. So let's try to summarize it. So one way we can usually do it is, this is my usual way of summarizing. So there are many tools to summarize your thoughts. And one of the most popular and one that I use a lot is called a mind map. A mind map is a wonderful tool with which you can summarize things that you want and in a very organized way. All right. So let's try to draw one. Let's try to draw one for, let's say, uh, mathematics for wealth management. This is our entire thing. And yeah, it's usually we sometimes make it colorful. Okay. Now, from here, we had two units. So let's take first unit in hand. Unit 1. And in unit 1, further, in unit 1, we had simple interest and we had compound. Or let's do one thing. We had much more things in unit 1, right? So we'll do one thing. We will classify it as interest, and from here we'll branch it out as simple for the compound. So simple interest and compound interest. If you want, you can further do it. For example, simple interest, you can give the formula here. Formula P plus PRT by 100. That was for maturity amount. Amount we finally get will be P plus PRT by 100, where P is the principal amount, R is the rate of interest in percentage, and T is the time period. And for compound interest, the formula was the maturity amount is equal to P into 1 plus R by N to the power NT, where T is the time period in years, N is the number of times interest is compounded annually, and R is the annual interest, where P is nothing but the initial principal amount. So this were two formulas that we came across in simple and compound interest. Then we made observations. Observations were, when is simple interest beneficial than compound interest? And that was one of the questions for your this one, right? For midsem. Simple advantages. This is one is for shorter time period, simple interest might be beneficial. And for longer period, compound interest might be beneficial. Now, one thing I should mention is, many of you made a mistake right at the formula in calculation during the mid-semester. All right, be very careful, learn the formula well, not just learn the formula, also work out a few problems before you get into exam. Now, what else? So that was almost the first class, and then we had same thing. We did a lot of problems. We did a few problems repeatedly, and then we did some problems on some terms missing. That is, maturity amount is given, principal and time period is given under simple interest. We did problems where we had to find the rate of interest. Problems of that sort we had worked out. Further, we talked about these recurring deposits and sinking funds. So unit 1, another part was deposits, recurring, and simple and compound interest were about, more of like fixed deposit like idea. Deposit were recurring, and one is recurring, and then we talk about sinking funds. We notice that SBI is this dream, SIB's dream, or there is an app, recurring deposits are there, which is recurring department, sorry, recurring deposit. And then this dream is more like a sinking fund, where we say we need this much amount at the end of this many years. So how much should I save monthly or quarterly or yearly, such that At the end of this year, I have this amount with me. Now, to use that, we use something called geometric progression. So let's start that off as a new branch. Prerequisites. And that is, one of the prerequisites were geometric progression. And we had a beautiful formula to calculate sum of n terms. For here, yeah, we had a beautiful formula to calculate the sum of n terms, AR into R to the power n minus 1 by R minus 1. That's true when your interest is lesser. Now, using that formula, we were able to do problems in, using that geometric progression formula, we did problems in recurring deposit and sinking deposit. Now, further, this day we actually did, yeah, changing interest. That was another topic that we covered. Changing interest. And here, depreciation again came into picture. Depreciation is nothing but almost like interest, but with a rate of drop of the amount. All right. So further up in then post midsem, this is where we started. We did a few problems and then yes, sinking funds, we did a few problems. Further going down. Yes, then we started unit 2. In unit 2, we had mainly two topics. Unit 2, three or four topics. One is annuity, and under annuity, we had annuity formula. Then we talked about finding the annuity factor. The formula was about finding the annuity factor. And then we used annuity table for it. Sorry, yeah. Then we used annuity table for it. We had the formula of PV is equal to, let's write that formula here. PV is equal to 1 by R, 1 minus 1 by R plus 1 to the power n. All right. Now, annuity table, you know how to refer to, right? For n is equal to 4, R is equal to 10%. You can go to, we have the table right here. We can, R is equal to 10 and n is equal to 4, right? R is equal to 10, rate of interest of 10 is here. Here is 4. So corresponding annuity value is 3.16987. So annuity table helps us calculate quick enough. Well, then we did a few problems. Further, we talked about perpetuity. Perpetuity. And in perpetuity, we had assessment formula. Assessment formula. Further, we had yeah, we were talking about these kind of problems. Viability of projects, that was under annuity again. Viability of projects. And further, we had rental payment. That is, we talked about rental payment after the years. Further, we did this. Yeah, this is again annuity. We did mortgages and sinking funds. Well, that was pretty much the content we covered so far. All right, now this is what you're going to do. Okay, you have to write a summary like this in whichever way you want. All right, write a summary like this in whichever way you want, and come up with some creative ways of expressing it, and preferably including all the formulas and all needed equations. Come up with it and prepare for some part. Let's see if it works out. Then you can go ahead and prepare the entire thing. The advantage is before exam, there is a sheet with which you can quickly refer to and understand and try to finish the exam quick. All right. So quickly go through and make a summary like this. This is my idea of summary. Your idea of summary may be something even different. So make sure that you create your own. All right. So advantage of creating a summary is if you create a summary, it is easier for you to refer to later. Even many of you are preparing for CA and different things. So if you create a summary like this, maybe I'm throwing in some colors, you need not, you may not, that's up to you, whichever is pleasing to you. There are many apps in which you can make mind maps as well. So that will help you. This will help you later to refer to it quicker. But preferably the equation or at least the very basic equations, if you can cover it here, it would help you refer it. It would make it it will become useful later when you have to quickly recollect all these things. before going for a job or all right. Now, this done. How else? What else should be included in the summary? Any other suggestions? Anything else you feel should be included in the summary? Some facts or some key facts or anything that you feel we should include here? You can put it in the chat or you can unmute and speak. Happy to receive input in whichever way possible. Yeah. Waiting for you guys. Anything else we should? You can flip through your pages and tell me. We will try to expand our mind map here. All right. Anyway, this is pretty much what I planned for the session. So I think we will, if you have any doubts, as I had mentioned earlier, if you have any doubts, you can ask that. Please make use of the time. We will. Please make use of the time. If you have any doubts or questions or whatever it is, you can ask now. Do you have any doubts? Have you started studying or have you kept it for later? If you have anything, please ask. Okay, since you guys are not responding, I'll do one thing. Let's see. Let's work out some problems then. Quick questions. Let's work out a few of them. Since you guys are all set, let's say familiarize ourselves with uh, let's familiarize ourselves with, say, then different concepts, simple questions that we can come across. Let's see. I'll post a few questions in the chat box. You can take few minutes to answer it. Right. Here's the first one. Here's the first one. Oh, all right. Now do one thing, get your annuity table ready, and the questions will be based on that. I want you guys to be fairly fluent in navigating through the annuity table. All right. Yeah. Okay. The first question is in the chat box. You can refer to and you can answer. Question is annuity factor for the period of 19 years at 5% discount is. Refer to the table, respond to the question. Cast your votes in the chat box quick. Table is there in the OneNote link which is shared with you. For now, during exam, if table is required, it will be given to you. I'm waiting for your responses. All right. You see more responses. Good. All right. Yeah. We have multiple responses. That's interesting. Meanwhile, let me set another one. Let's say, how can I make it a bit troubling questions? Question. Okay. I think I got an idea. If okay. Oh, but okay. Adjustable. Hmm. Okay. Mm. Need answers for the others. I'm going to give attendance only for those who are interacting. But other days I mentioned, but still I was like, okay, let me not trouble them. Let me give them the usual thing because but today I am going to say today I'm going to mark attendance for those who interact. Okay. Be curious. Outcome is, so please give it a shot. Okay. Yeah, give a shot to this. Thank you. Yes. All right. There's interesting what going on. There is 2 watt. Someone bought it for 300, then changed it to 200. Okay. Interesting. So simple interest, we are talking about simple interest. What would be the amount? Someone has given a thumbs up for the question. Okay. Now there is a split vote. This is almost like watching the elections were election counting where the numbers are flipping all of a sudden quickly, and the majority seems to think that it's 200 rupees. So he gave 100, and the question says, what would be the amount after 2 years? And then majority says 200. There is a minority of 2 who says 300. There is a very short minority of 2 who says 400 as well. Interesting. What would be the answer, and why would you have chosen that choice you made? Why did you choose the answer you chose? If someone can tell one reason for why 200, and if someone can tell one reason for why 300, if one can tell about why 400, it would be. Can someone tell why? Why did you make this choice? Okay, then let me ask a similar question. Hmm? 200 using simple interest formula. So it should be, what should it be? So you're saying 200 using simple interest formula, and then it should be P plus P R T, right? That is equal to, yeah, if Ravi is offered 100% annual interest, it means his money will double in 1 year. Yeah, that's true. But read the question carefully. What does it say? Yeah, it will be doubled twice. Interesting. So you're saying that's why you chose 400. Okay. Someone has any argument for 200? Interesting. One argument. Okay, nobody is choosing 300. So let me give an argument for 300. Let me see if it works. I'm not sure. This is my argument for 300. Yeah.
Sir, can I give the argument for 300?
Yes, sure. Please.
Okay, so sir, when we take 100% interest, the formula
Uh-huh.
for amount is P plus PRT by 100. So
Hmm.
when we put the values in the formula, it amounts to 300 rupees at 100% interest in 2 years.
Yes. Yeah. So what is the answer then at the end? Oh, now the votes have changed around. Interesting. Earlier, when I came, it was 90 percentage 200. Now it's 54 percentage 200 and 36 percentage. Oh, no, everyone is flipping. Okay. Interesting. The votes have turned around and now 300 is leading and everything else is going down. Okay. Yeah. See, read the question carefully and use the formula which you have in your hand. Then let me ask you another question. Hmm? Hmm. How much should pay? Okay, next question in the chat box. It's not this is not a quiz. Let me see. You guys can calculate. Meanwhile, I'll try to create the quiz. Compounded annually. So okay. All right. Next question. You can. I'm putting it as a form in the chat box, so you can respond. Okay. We have split votes, but it's unrealistic unless it's someone to encourage you to save. Nobody, no bank will ever give you 100% interest. No bank will ever give you 100% interest. So This time it's unanimous. Everyone has noticed. So 100% over a year doubles is the reason most people chose 200 last time. This time, unanimously, everyone is going for a particular value, which I'm not going to tell you because those who haven't voted can try to calculate. Okay, then let's try. Okay, actually it's 4:30 already. We'll try this. We'll try next class. What we'll do is we'll do more problems and then we'll also have, I'll prepare more questions. Now these questions I was generating on the go. So I'll prepare more questions and we'll have a quick quiz sessions. All right. So turns out if it's compound interest, compounded annually, Ravi's mom should pay him after 2 years. She should pay him 400 rupees. Right? If it's compounded and if it's simple interest compounded annually, then it turns out it is Ravi will get rupees 300 at the end of 2 years. In 1 year it doubles, but in 3 years it becomes 300. If you can use a formula to quickly verify it. Okay. Anyway, our time's up. We will wind up now. Have a wonderful evening and we'll meet again next week. Next week, I think 2 more classes and we'll hopefully wind up our sessions.